So who is Alex Langsam? Well, his parents fled Austria to escape from Hitler. The family are Jewish. And came over to the UK. And he started the Britannia Group in 1976 from one hotel in Didsbury. And he's done quite well, hasn't he? Let's face it. But there's been quite a bit of controversy with him. He's actually based, in terms of domicile status, in Austria for tax purposes, and he has been since 1999. And he even tried to sue his accountants for not telling him sooner that there was a tax evasion loophole. And this is even though his accountants had paid him £1 million. That wasn't enough for Mr. Langsam. So he appealed it, and he actually lost the appeal. And then, with a little bit of a twist, the company that he used, the solicitors, to make the appeal, actually pledged that he owed them money. I don't know. Look at these gates. I've got to keep saying this is a commercial company. You know, would you expect this if you walked up to, I don't know, Premier Inn head office? Or I'm assuming that's still Whitbread, but what have they got to hide? Sorry, I am sounding like one of those auditors now. I do apologise. So when COVID hit, one of his hotels in Aviemore, he did actually sack everybody. And they were also evicted because they were living staff. They were living employees. So that's head office for Britannia Hotels. Not very welcoming, is it? Now, Mr. Langsam has made it onto the UK's rich list. No surprise. Because at one time he was housing, or accommodating, should we say, 1 in 10 people seeking asylum in this country. Now, this isn't a racist video. It certainly isn't. I'm all for supporting anybody who needs help. Always. So if somebody's genuinely fleeing a war-torn situation and they're in danger, I'm all for helping if we can. A couple of points though. It is actually costing, or was actually costing, I think they have started closing the hotels down now a little bit, but around about £7 to £8 million per day to actually house people in these hotels. And who pays for that? You guessed it. Yep, the taxpayer. And at the same time, the delightful Mr. Langsam was profiting to the tune of around about £100,000 per day. I mean, the whole situation stinks, doesn't it, really? Someone called Tim Hilton, who is the CEO of Refugee Action, on the other side of the argument, who says it is scandalous that the government allows private companies to make hundreds of millions in profit per annum. And let's face it, the Britannia Group has had some stick, generally because of its hygiene, its practices, its maintenance. There's been all kinds of stories, fires, hotels burning down, obviously, food poisoning, cockroaches in kitchens, things not being fixed. I mean, you only have to look on TripAdvisor to see for yourself. And at the same time, there's all this profit being made. Now let's talk a little bit about Serco. Now, who are Serco, eh? Well, I did a little bit of digging on Serco, and I'm sure a lot of you know who they are, but I didn't have a clue, to be honest. But Serco are handling the contract with Britannia for the housing of migrants. But they've got a bit of checkered history themselves. In 2013, the chairman resigned due to keeping inaccurate records and overcharging the UK government for electrically monitoring criminals, so the tax systems. In New Zealand, they lost the contract because they didn't take any action when there was organised fighting in a remand prison. 2017, a risk assessment by Appleby observed a history of problems, failures, fatal errors and overcharging, and yet they still get the contracts. Serco were part of a consortium called Trusted Borders, who actually electronically monitored border security, so they knew exactly who's coming into the country. It's all getting a bit fishy, isn't it, really? Now, in 2013, they were accused of an extensive cover-up over abuse claims at Yarl's Wood Immigration Removal Centre. In 2014, they were accused of paying immigrant detainees only £1 per hour to work. They've got defence contracts, such as working at Menworth Hill in North Yorkshire, which is a communication base. Fylingdale's also in North Yorkshire, which is an early warning station, which is very relevant these days, I would imagine, with everything that's going on. They've got contracts that deal with education. Those lovely little yellow cameras, those speed cameras, those Gatsos, they're Serco cameras. Transport contracts. They really are Big Brother, and they're watching. Quite sinister. So Britannia have hooked up with Serco. They're actually running the migration programme for the government. So I'm actually going to go to one of the hotels now, just to show you how it's been run, if I can. I'll probably get confronted by security, but this isn't one of those auditing videos where I'm going to be confrontational myself. I'm going to be respectful and polite, because I think this is really about the bigwigs, the people at the top, and the money they're making, the government as well, the cover-ups, and why the likes of Serco still getting contracts. They're too powerful. Well, here I am, Warrington, just on the outskirts, and we'll have a look at a Britannia hotel if we can. So I'm just on a business site called Daresby Park. Now, I know this has been filmed recently, but I'm not doing an audit. I just want to show you what's going on, really. See if there's any changes. But there we are, Britannia Hotel, Daresby Park. Private property. So they've certainly got the signage up. Have a little wander about. I'm not going to try and cause any bother any either. I just want to see what's going on, really. Nice hotel. Any of you that watch the audit videos will know what I'm filming. Like I say, I don't want to go down that road and upset anybody, really. It's not my thing. But you can see there's quite a lot of bicycles there. Footy goal, bit of a kickabout. Obviously the car park, the main car park's blocked off. So yeah, Daresby Park Hotel used to be really nice and salubrious. I'm sure it still is. But I do know a lot of the hotels are closing down now. And they're going to be probably refurbed and then open again to the public. Got a fair bit of bedding and things like that there. It looks like bedding, quilts and pillows and so on. Looks like a bit of a storage spot. It's quite a big gaff this, you know. Just off the M56. Oh, that was the leisure club, right? Okay, so that's where the gym and everything was. I'm assuming the swimming pool and so on. There's an entrance over there. Lots of accommodation. I'm not going to overstay my welcome, because I think if I carry on, I probably will end up being confronted by security. They're only doing their job, and I certainly don't want to get into any conflict with them. This video is more about the owner of Britannia and the money he's making, you know, and can't even fix things like that. Lots of containers there. Don't know what the relevance is of those. So yeah, it is a large hotel, very much so. Evology, a car parking company, but there's no parking allowed at the moment. So I'm going to come off site now. I just wanted to show you lots of accommodation, and like I said before, if people are genuinely in need, I have no problem with that whatsoever, none whatsoever, if we can help people. However, there's a lot of safe countries that people pass through to get to the UK, and yet they still seek asylum in the UK, and they risk life and limb doing so over the channel. We've got to ask ourselves why. Hiya. No, I'm going now. Alright, cheers, thank you. EasyJet there. A friendly security guard. Said fine, that's fine. Thank you. Okay. So I'll walk around, try and get a bit more footage as I do. To be fair, I think a lot of the security now are cottoning on to the fact that people are interested in filming current affairs, let's put it like that, and this is very much a current affair, isn't it? So I'm sorry to disappoint if you expected a big row or some kind of argy-bargy. Didn't get that. But that wasn't the case. I just wanted to show you a Britannia hotel and the fact that Mr. Alex is still making a blinking fortune doing what he's doing.